Hello everybody, coming to you from my house, and we're just here to do communion today. For many Christians, the coronavirus induced limitations on life have arrived at the same time as our lead up to Easter, which is the holiest time for us, but we have sharp new regulations in place. There's no theatre or cinema, schools are shutting, it's house arrest for our over 70s. And, for some of us, we're doing without coffee or chocolate or toilet paper. But that's child play compared with not being able to see our friends, our grandchildren, going to the library or coming here to the church and celebrating together as a church family. There's a reason we normally meet together in the flesh, and that's because it seems such a punishment not to do it. We love that time of being together as a family, and that's what communion is to me. But at the moment in this season, we don't really feel like we have Easter to look forward to. We don't feel we can tick off the days till we're all together, because we don't know what's going to happen. No doubt there are people that you've been meeting who've been asking, why is God doing this? It's a punishment? Is it a warning? Is it a sign? And in the Max culture generation, we always want to explain everything. We always want an explanation. Why does this happen? Is it right? Then that's what I know what has happened. But faith is all about not knowing, about not being able to understand what goes on. Perhaps more than anything, the biblical tradition of Christ's death on the cross for us is all about faith. That's when people might ask, why did he die for us? Well, he died for our sins. Failing to look more broadly at the suffering of Christ, I've found beauty and strength in these last couple of days in Psalms. To me, Psalms is the Bible's own hymn book. It's a place when we can go to for advice and care and strength. Psalm 6, be gracious to me, Lord, for I am languishing, O Lord. Heal me. Psalms 10, why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? And so it goes on. Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd. He leads me into paths of righteousness. I will fear no evil. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalms 121, I lift up my eyes to the hills. My help comes from the Lord. Psalms just goes on and on with wonderful verses of strength in this time. But if you think about it, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. God in his last days on the cross called out, my God, why have you forsaken me? So that whole verse of Psalms is a strength in our times. Sometimes these poems now give me a real sense of fresh, a real sense of God's presence and hope. They don't explain the troubles that we're going through, but they're there to provide reassurance within it. And that's when we come around the Lord's table. It's our time of reassurance that God died for our sins and he'll always be there for us. So, just now as a family, you can pass the bread around, and it's a chance for you to remember the mystery of the biblical story. It's God's lament that he died on the cross for our sins. As we come around this communion table and we celebrate the bread, it's a celebration of the story that Jesus is meaningless unless it's all about faith. As the disciples sat together, Jesus said, take it, eat it, this is my body. Giving you a chance to celebrate that with your family. As Christians, we don't need to be able to explain what is happening and why. In fact, it's part of the Christian vocation not to be able to explain, but to have faith instead. As the Spirit is within us, so we become, even in our self-isolation, small shrines where the presence and healing love of God can dwell. And out of that, there can emerge new possibilities, new acts of kindness, new scientific understanding, new hope, new wisdom. And when he was with his disciples in that room, just like I'm in my kitchen here, he gave thanks and offered them the cup and said to them, each of you drink from it, for this is my blood, which seals the covenant between God and his people. It is poured out for the forgiveness of many. thank you very much for joining me in my kitchen. Amen.